Hi everyone, 안녕하세요 여러분. So this video is going to be about my journey to law school. I am currently a 3L in law school. So for those who don't know anything about law school is 3 years long, and I'm going to talk about my journey to law school, from the LSAT to the application process to finally getting to law school. My journey is unique, as is everybody's journey, so your journey will not end up this way. So that's why I wanted to make this a video. I've gotten many requests about how I got into law school, asked questions about how I got into law school, what the process was like, where to apply, and all that stuff. So here we go. The LSAT sucks. I'm not a great standardized test taker, so and that's been a theme of my whole life. I wasn't the best at any of those standardized tests they give you throughout high school, middle school. My SAT scores were okay. I didn't take the ACT, which, thinking back on it, I probably should have. My LSAT scores were not great. And for those who have maybe taken the LSAT or are thinking about taking the LSAT and are terrified, that's okay. I was terrified to take the LSAT. I got to law school. I'm doing fine. You'll do fine. So don't worry. So the LSAT, I don't know what the price of the LSAT is right now. When I took it, I remember having to pay like maybe 200, 300 maybe? Either way. So the LSAT is a 4-hour test. It's long. It's stamina. It really is stamina. You should study ahead. A lot of people think, oh, how do you study for a standardized test? The LSAT is a whole nother beast. You should study. I used the Kaplan books. I didn't take any courses, which I think I kind of regret now. I should have taken a course. But I studied through the Kaplan books that you can buy at any like Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon. So I took the LSAT twice. I took it once in the States before I went to South Korea, and once in Korea up in Seoul. So the first time I took it, I was still working. I was, studying like every few hours or so, and didn't really have a lot of time to study. So I would take my book, I would go to cafes, I would bring my book to work, study during my lunch hour, or study, on the subway ride home or whatnot. I took the LSAT, got my scores back, and I was like, okay, maybe it's probably a good thing that I go abroad, take some time off, because they weren't that great. So now I'm abroad. It's my second year. It was my second year in Korea. I took the LSAT up in Seoul on a cold day. It was freezing. And this is a funny story. For those who have been to Korea, in the subway stations, you'll see that there are lockers there, and you put money in and you put the time, but the max time for the locker that I was at was 4 hours, which is the entire length of the exam. And they stick to that 4-hour time frame. It's no joke. So I put my stuff in and I was like, I'll figure it out later. Forgot to bring my wallet with me, because I was just carrying my little plastic bag full of like my ID and all that stuff. And got out of the exam. I was like, I'm done. 4 hours. I can go back to Busan. I can like relax now. I can, breathe again, because I'd been studying for a long time for this exam, and I couldn't open the locker because I didn't have more money to open the locker, because my wallet was inside the locker. So thank God to the nice lady who walked by I told her, I have money in my wallet. Can I just put money into to the machine, and once I take out my wallet, I will give you exact amount that I just put in the machine. And she was totally okay with that. I was like super surprised. She lent me the money. I gave it back to her right after I took my wallet out. So that was fun. But yeah, so make sure you know your surroundings. Wow, the LSAT is, again, like I said before, is a beast. You have to study, and you have to take those practice exams. You've got to take the practice exams. If you don't do that to yourself, you're going to think like, oh, it's not too bad. I did that for the first time I took it. And you're going to say to yourself, it's not bad. 4 hours, I can do this. And you're going to run out of steam. I'm telling you right now, you're going to run out of steam. When you're like not used to this kind of exam, you're like not in that mindset, you're not going to do well. Okay, so the application process. So for those who are going through it right now, you probably know you have LSAT, and you go on to LSAT, you have your whole profile where you put your resume up. Your scores will come in because you register for the LSAT through LSAT. All the schools that you want to send applications to are all up there. Everything is on LSAT. Everything's on there. So you have everything in one place. And you need to be on time with your applications, because if there's anything that a lawyer, and especially you'll learn this in law school, there's one thing that you need to be good at, is timeliness. The biggest indicator that you're not good at that is that you procrastinate your application, because those schools will not give you more time to hand in your applications. So if you leave it to the last minute, you're doing yourself a disservice. So you do all that stuff, you upload all your documents and stuff, you get your recommendations, and then you send in your applications and you wait. Now, I've heard some people have had interviews. I didn't. The schools that I applied to did not give me interviews. I got into a school in Boston, and I got into a school in New York City, and I had applied to other places, but I don't remember if I finished my applications to the other places, because I had already gotten into the school that I initially wanted to go to. So I was in Korea when I got the acceptance. It was close to the end of my second year. Because of the time frame of everything in Korea and signatures on contracts and stuff, I had already signed on for a third year, and so I asked the school that I had gotten into whether I could defer for a year, and they were totally okay with that. They understood my situation, and so I spent one more year in South Korea, and then I came back and I started law school in New York City. So that was my video on how I got to law school, the process, what to prepare for. I hope you like the video. If you have any questions, you can always leave a comment, like and subscribe to our videos. And yeah, thank you. Bye.